Hey y'all, hey, raw to the bone. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where should I put this so I can get good light. My laptop, I'm working off of my laptop. Normally I work off of my phone, but I couldn't do live on my mobile. But to the bone here, coming in to check on you. So I don't have many subscribers and followers yet, but I did just start my YouTube channel not too long ago. And the channel is about telling stories, but these are stories about my life, right? Good stories, bad stories. Well, no story is really bad because they all make us, right? But I went through a lot of shit in my time, okay? And so I needed to go on. I get hot flashes. But anyway, I'm telling my story, and this is the way I chose to do it. So I chose to create my alter ego, raw to the bone, because I tell my stories just like that, raw to the bone. But anyway, locked down, self-quarantining or on curfew somewhere, we reach out to our virtual friends. And so that's what I'm doing right now. Actually, still having a sip. Well, not still, but I started to have a sip. And this I need to drink very slow. This is Tennessee. Yeah, like I said, I don't have many subscribers, so I probably won't have a lot of watchers, but I still wanted to come on here and check because I'm going to save this stream and leave it on here so that anybody in their time of need or when they're bored and they're just flipping through YouTube like the kids do, you might stumble across this video, okay? But I was just sitting here thinking, you guys ever think about the shit you go through in your life, okay? And how you came out of it? I think about it all the time, okay? I think about it all the time. And then when we're faced with times like these, you go, I never thought I would be in a situation where I could tell a story. Well, I hope I could tell a story. There's a lot of people that's not going to be able to tell this story about this coronavirus strain, but I'm hoping I'll be here to tell this story because this is something like an apocalypse. Okay. But we can make it through. We have to stay positive and we have to, keep a positive mind. And in the meantime, oh, look, my headscarf is going to fall apart. And in the meantime, we have to keep each other sane, right? So I told a couple of stories and I posted them here on my YouTube channel, Raw to the Bone. And all the stories that I do, 8 a.m. Coffee with Friends in the morning on Facebook. And at night, we do 8 o'clock cocktail so that everybody can just kind of keep in touch, right? And every now and again, I'll throw out a story. Okay, like this morning, I told a story about the invitation to the prom, where I got invited to hang out with someone. I was already finished school. They weren't. I got invited to hang out with someone, but I actually had a boyfriend at the time. But I still took the invitation and went out, and it just caused a big ruckus. It just did. I came back home from going out, and my boyfriend was sitting on the steps, and so I got busted. I was 18 years old. Don't judge me. I was. All right. But he didn't quit me, but he was very hurt. And he was very upset. And actually, he's a really good guy. We're still friends to this day. So, I mean, if anybody shares that live story with him, I didn't tell his name. I'm not going to tell his name. So he's safe there. But, if he hears the story, he'll know exactly. I was talking about him. Mm-hmm. Yep. I got other stories about him too, but today I posted a little blurb about my brother. When my brother was born, he was 11. I was 11 years old, and I was in a single parent household. My mom. So when my mother had my brother, it was just us three, right? And you know, for some of us who grew up in urban neighborhoods, single parent households, we knew that we all pitched in as a family to help. They were going to pick up their little brothers or their little sisters, and that was just something that we did. Okay. And through the years, me and my brother maintained being close. But being that we were 11 years apart, I was kind of moving into a different part of my life as he was, or whatever. But I still had the responsibility of caring for my little brother, nonetheless. Okay. So I did that. I made a lot of mistakes. Let me tell you, one time I forgot to feed him. And my mother came home and she said, "Why is he crying?" And I said, "I don't know, but I did remember that, oh my God, I forgot to feed him." So she asked me, "Did you feed him?" And I said, "Yeah." Hmm. She tore up that garbage can because she knew I was lying. She said, "I'm going to look and I better find some fucking baby food in this garbage can." It wasn't nothing in there. So I got in trouble. I got beaten. My poor brother was hungry, but I was 11. It was a lot of responsibility to put on a child. But that's how urban families in a single household got through. It was normal. Like these kids today, like I live in New Jersey now, and I see how these kids get on the bus to go to school and their parents take them to all the games, and non-existent when I was growing up. It was the mother and the children, and the mother had to work. And my mother had a few different little jobs to make sure that we had food on the table. You know what I'm saying? So none of them was hooking. I just want to make sure y'all didn't even think that far. Okay. Now, number running. So I had the responsibility of my brother, but that night I got in trouble. I got in trouble really bad. But by 15, I was pregnant. So of course, my brother was only 4 years old or whatever. He was still young, and I'm here about to have my own child, and I'm still a child. Okay. But no matter what went on through the years, my brother lived with me periodically, but he used to go back home to his mother. Me and my mother, we had a tainted relationship. Okay. But no matter what, I kept in tune with what was going on with my mother and my brother, especially much in the street. And I was the one that was very much in books. I did have my bad moments and I did a couple of things, but pretty much I gravitated back to the books, right? And he gravitated more to the street. He felt he had to take care of his mom. And I guess that's where, the direction he went. So, at some point, I began visiting Rikers Island. Okay. Now my brother started getting in trouble at an early age. If I had to guess, I would think 15 maybe was the first time he got arrested. I don't know. But I do know that I spent a lot of time going up to Rikers Island to visit him, and a lot of time in courtrooms, talking to his attorneys and trying to be by his side as they, determine his guilt or his innocence. Okay. And so that was 20 years of that, in and out of courts, visiting jails. And in the midst of that, again, you got to remember I had my own child who himself, by the age of 16, started to get in trouble with the law. It got to a point where I was maintaining two commissaries, writing two people, visiting two people, taking phone calls for two people, doing stuff for two people, you know, and still having to take care of myself, right? And whatever relationship or marriage I was in at the time, because I've had, you know, I'm in my second marriage right now. But, you know, the thing is that, you know, it got to a point where I couldn't keep up with taking care of myself, right? And between my brother and my son, you know, when I would taper off a little bit and try to focus on myself, at the same time, I went back to school and I got my degrees, right? Because I had my son early, so I got my degree late, both of them. And so they would get upset. They would take it personal if I couldn't see them, or if I didn't write them, or if I get aggravated when they called me. They never understood that it was a lot on me. They just felt like you're on the outside, so anything is possible. You could do anything. But I've been a caretaker since the age of 11 years old. Right? Nobody takes care of me. Okay? And I don't mean, you know, my husband is not good to me. And I don't mean, you know, okay? We have been close for some years. Don't fuck with him. Okay? I don't care what problems me and my mother go through, but can't nobody else come in and have no problem. That's a no. So many times, you know, my brother or my son, they used to get irritated because, you know, they expected me to be at their beck and call, but what they was asking of me, they didn't realize was too much. Like, you're asking, you made a choice, right? To do 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 5 years, 7 years, however many years you did, you made a choice to do those years. But now you're asking me to do those years with you, and you're not being considerate about what you're asking me. But I still had to love them through that because I knew that they needed me. Even in their own selfishness at times, I tried to understand that. And so I did the best I can. I wasn't perfect, but I did the best I can. That's what I said. I did. And I'm going to tell you, God has blessed me because He has always put me on my 2 feet to where I can take care of my family. He has always put me on my 2 feet. I don't care what situation I am in. If I'm with my husband and I'm getting ready to get a divorce and I know that I have to pay all the bills by myself and maintain commissaries and visit jails and pay car notes and insurance and help take care of my grandkids. Listen, God bless me. Like, people don't know how many sacrifices I make for them. And that, I think, is what annoys me the most. Right? So when I think back on my life and I go, oh my God, I've been a caretaker since 11 years old. At this point in my life, I'm 63 years old, right? So if I need somebody to do something for me, like my husband or my child or my grandchild or my brother or my mother, right? I don't expect to hear no bullshit. I don't. They give me bullshit, fucking ride or die. Okay? But you motherfuckers ain't gonna keep putting me on the die side. Okay? That's the point. Okay? People say you shouldn't expect, you know, the same thing that you give out. And that's true. You shouldn't. But to a point, there's got to be a point. I'm opening up the window because I get hot flashes. There's got to be a point where people see what you do for them, right? And they take that in on their own without having to be told. And they give back in a way that's what hurts. And I think that's where a lot of people in my lifetime have hurt me, because I'm very giving. If I am your friend or your family member, not just any old friend or any old family member, but my son, my husband, okay, my mom, I'm talking my brothers, like that. And you need me and I could do it, I'm going to do it. But what I have noticed is a lot of times people are taking advantage, right? And people think that it's all about money. It's not that. So say for instance, if I'm doing something for you and it's monetary, and you need me monetary, but you know you can't give it back to me monetarily, right? You do other shit for me. Think of other shit you could do for me. I'm a very grateful person, right? But it's a give and take situation. So all the years that I give into my brother and to my son and to my mama, to whomever, I expect them to give back in some way. But I want to say this though. My brother came home, okay, from jail, and I appreciate him. Let me tell you something. I have 4 brothers, I do. But Tony and I are the closest. It doesn't take away from my other brothers. It's just that I was raised in the same household with Tony. So we have a bond that's different. But it doesn't make it, my feelings for my other brothers any less. It really doesn't. But I respect him. Because he came home, got a job, bought himself a car, okay? I couldn't wait to see him, and I rented an Airbnb house so all of us can go see him in Atlanta. Him and Bridget drove to Atlanta to meet me, my mom, and my son who went at the time, and I offered to pay all the expenses, right? Let me tell you something. My brother did not take advantage of that, okay? He gave me money every opportunity he could. And he didn't have to because I knew he was just trying to get on his feet, but he gave it to me. And when I told him he didn't have to, he said, no, I don't want you to feel like you're in this alone. Okay? I never had nobody treat me like that. Not really. Like, you get a husband, and I've always been like one of those strong women or whatever the case may be. So I think men take it for granted that I could just do everything myself and they don't have to do anything for me. So when my brother overextended himself to me, I'm like, that's cool because I'm so used to carrying the weight. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate him. Yeah. And then Thanksgiving, we decided to go to rent a cabin in the mountains, Blue Ridge Mountains. And I again put out the expense. I didn't ask my brother for anything. Okay. I just said we all had to kind of chip in for the food, but I'm going to make sure I get the cabin because I love family time. I love spending time. My mother is 73 years old. Okay. I love building memories. That's what I love doing. And I remember one time, I pay for I'll put out the money for it. Even if I think I'm going to be short somewhere or whatever, I'll put out the money for it because certain things are important to me. And other months after the trip, I got an alert on my phone. My brother sent me money. It wasn't a little bit of money. It was several hundreds of dollars. And I texted him and I thought it was around my birthday. So I was like, whoa, he's giving me all this for my birthday? Plus, he sent me a PS4 because I kept saying I wanted to play games or whatever the case may be. Now, he just came home. Okay. And so I called him. I said, wait a minute. Did you send me money by mistake? He said, you don't know what that's for? I said, no. I don't know what that's for. He said, it's for the cabin you rented. I said I would give you money when I got it. Child. I ain't used to that. Money back in my family. My listen, I'm talking about the ones that I gave money to. Okay? I appreciate him. Now, yeah, y'all know I have a son. I have one son. He's 37 years old at this point. Right? Yeah. That's another story. Okay. Now, my son, he could tell you, I'd rather die for him. Listen, but that boy will make up every excuse of why he acts the way he acts on a regular basis without taking accountability. And I say this, people need to take accountability for their actions. Okay. Point blank and period. Okay. And always remember, don't fuck with the person that always got your back. Don't do it. Okay? He's still got some growing up to do. It's a damn shame. He's 37 years old. And he's still got some growing to do. Priorities are still, he's still learning what that means. Okay? Now, I done told y'all I get on here and I'm going to tell a story like my name says, raw to the bone. Even if it involves my own kid. But he need to learn. He need to learn from Tony, his uncle, because Tony makes sure on my well, I didn't tell it on my YouTube page yet, my YouTube channel yet, but I posted a blurb about it and it's called Touch. It is on my IG page and you'll see the cover and I typed up a little blurb about that. And I am going to tell that story about the guy who came into my house unwanted and violated me and how I got away with that, how I walked away. And I told that story. Now, my brother was an infant at the time. Okay, so okay. Because he would never allow anybody to disrespect me. Okay, if he could control it, he would never allow anyone to disrespect me under no circumstances. None, zero. Okay, and my son, my brother has a daughter. Okay, and listen, his baby mother never disrespected me in my face. She could have said a million things behind my back, but never. But my son, he better do better. Because his current people need to learn respect. Okay? Point blank, period. Because I'm just going to be about taking care of their kids. My son was always with me. Nobody took care of my son but me. People helped me take care of my son, but he was always with me. He could never say he wasn't with me. And I didn't give a fuck. Raw to the bone because there's a lot of things that hurt my feelings right now that's going on in my life. And I'm going to share them because that's my self-therapy. Okay? And people aren't going to like it, but that's too bad. It's not about them. It's about me. Okay? Ain't nobody safe. If you wanted to be safe, you should have acted right. Okay? Now, there will be stories that are funny, but there will be stories that are, heavy. Okay? But I just wanted to jump on here and try this live stream out because I never did YouTube live. I never did. And I didn't really get any viewers, but that's okay because I'm practicing. I still love y'all anyway. But going for now, but not going forever. Oh, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe to my channel, please, because there's going to be other stories. Okay, and I'm also on IG as RAW2ThBone as well. RAW2Th33Bone. Okay, follow me, like, share, and hopefully you'll take this journey with me. That's all I ask. Help me heal. And hopefully I can heal others. Hopefully others can relate to my stories. That's what I'm hoping. But going for now, but not going forever. Raw to the bone.